Right, so I'm here with Nathan Mack. Thanks a million, Nate, for joining us.
No, thank you for having me, Dylan. This is going to be
So,
great.
yeah, so this is actually my first interview in a while now, to be honest. So, I
Mm.
suppose just to get the ball rolling, can you start by introducing yourself? Kind of just tell us what you're all about and what your history is with music.
Yeah, gosh. Well, my history of music is a very, very long and complicated one, but I'll kind of start from here and trickle backwards. I'm currently releasing my debut album, Start of Something Blue, and we've been releasing it since the beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Going back even before that, that's the year I met my producer, because before that, I was kind of more of an acoustic singer-songwriter. I am now a cinematic pop artist or electronic pop or
Yeah.
indie pop, or there's loads of different names for it. But we call it cinematic pop because it sounds. You know. So before I met my producer, I was a singer-songwriter. I was pursuing music under the name of Bua for a while, which was a terrible name in Irish.
Sorry?
Do you know what Bua means in
No,
Irish?
actually, I don't.
Yeah, it's one of those obscure words. It means like victory or courage, special quality. And I thought, yeah, this is a cool name. This is
Okay.
so me, you know? And so, yeah, I tried to do that, and everybody couldn't pronounce it. And when they did, it just sounded like I was being booed. So I had to get rid of that name. Before that, I was actually trying to be a clown. I was trying to do direction for circus performing because I used to be a circus performer before I injured myself.
Oh,
I injured my back in a really boring way. But I can tell you a lie and tell you the story about how I injured it in a really exciting way, if you'd rather the fake story,
so
you
you're
know?
going to do like the author, you're going to do like the author thing where you have like this made up backstory where you like fell off a train or something. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be something really dramatic. I was saving a baby, you know. I was swinging on a trapeze. I saw a baby about to fall, and I leapt from the trapeze. I caught the baby, but I injured my back.
Jesus,
Yeah,
sorry about
it's pretty
that.
rough.
So like you so like just so you just kind of injured your back then, is
Yeah,
what
yeah. I
happened.
injured my back, and I couldn't pursue my great goal of wanting performer. Um, a goal that I started when I was about 16. And then even before that, because see, I'm trickling all the way back. It's weird going back to
Okay,
front,
it's
you
weird
know?
going backwards.
And
Yeah.
then let me think, when I was really young, my first sort of connection to music, if we're going way back to when I was a kid, it would have been my uncle and my mother and my father. Like everybody in my family plays music. Everybody in my family is really talented when it comes to music playing. So I've kind of been around it my whole life,
Okay.
which is a good way to circle it back because on the latest single, my little sister is singing with me.
Okay. And that's Broken and Beautiful,
Yeah.
is it?
That's Broken and Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, so I suppose, just to bring it back then to your music today, I suppose obviously you kind of explained that, it's cinematic pop with electronic kind of elements. Can you kind of I suppose how would you kind of describe, let's say, the meaning behind it? Like what's the
ah,
purpose of it all?
yeah, this is a really, it's funny. It kind of relates to the story that I just told about my life. Things. So I'll start with the where I originally got inspired by the concept, which was kintsugi, if you're familiar with it. It's like an is philosophical practice, I guess. It's basically when you break something like a cup or a teapot and then you fix it, but with the cracks you paint or you use a golden joinery to make them shine. And the whole idea being that you celebrate the object for what it's been through rather
Yeah.
than it being new and perfect. You're like, no, this thing has had a life, it's got wear and tear. That's what makes it valuable. Um, Hearing about this art style, and I was obsessed with it. I loved it so much. I even started doing it. So I would have broken tea because I love tea and coffee and
Hmm.
pots, broken cups, and I'd repair them with this joinery, which I still have. They're beautiful. And I wanted to put it into a song. I guess something I love to do, inject little bits of philosophy into something that sounds kind of popular and easy to
Yeah.
digest. So yeah, so the main core of that song is about celebrating something for the life it's lived, celebrating something for its breaks, not for its sort of pristine perfection.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think I've heard
that's
of
kind
that
of the core of
concept
the track.
before. I think I've heard of that before, kind of appreciating, let's say, the story behind the object. That's kind of, it's a Japanese
Yeah,
concept, is
yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, like, well, I guess this particular art form, like, it's part of a wider philosophical school, I guess you'd call it,
Yeah.
which generally prefers the imperfect, the slightly unfinished, the slightly aged. It's got a an alternative, well, a person to what we believe today. It's got an alternative view on what beauty, which is something I'd love to combat, something I'd love to fight against. You know.
All right, okay. All right, brilliant. That's really interesting. So I suppose
Mhm.
tell us a bit about the backstory of, because you've been working on your album for a while now, for the past 2 years,
Mhm.
let's say. Can you kind of describe how that process has been?
Yeah, yeah, long, arduous, complicated, difficult, expensive. Um, but it's been life changing. Honestly, I when before you get a song out, before you feel like nobody. Like you feel like I'm just this dude who plays guitar and sometimes piano. I sit in a pub and I just do my thing, and that's really what I felt like for a long, long time. I now know it's not true, but it's what I felt like. So as soon as I got these tracks out with my producer, like my newest producer, Brian, I was so excited. Like I was set on much. I was ready to tackle the world and I was ready to say like, yes, look at me. I've got a song out and it's the best thing in the world. You should listen to it. And that has been amazing. I'm still on that buzz like 2.5 years later. I still,
Okay.
every time I get a track out, I'm still like, you need to hear this. It is literally the best song that you've ever heard. And being able to do that is it's just magical. It really, really is. Like, cause I've been part of projects where I was only half proud of it,
Yeah.
and it would, yeah, it's good. Check it out, sure. But with the music that we make now, and with the film that we're making, with the album, I'm really just like, you need to see this because it's that brilliant. You know, I have
Yeah.
a yeah, it's amazing to have that kind of confidence in a project.
Yeah, like I know it's great to kind of reach those milestones. It's great to kind of have that thing that you're passionate about. And it's
Mm.
what am I trying to say? It's always a big milestone to release any song, I suppose. But I suppose how many kind of tracks are you aiming for on this album?
Yeah, so we've got 10 tracks overall. See, this is another thing about releasing it the way we did. We sort of went with the modern idea that screw an album, screw an EP, we'll do every
Yeah.
single thing with every single. And that way we can keep shouting about it. We can kind of, because it's a first release, we can sort of learn our lessons as we
Mm.
go. Like I'm self-releasing. So I started my record label in 2020 to release these songs through. So I had to learn how to start a record label. I had to learn how to collect royalties and all these kinds of things, how to register metadata, how to market a track. I had to learn how to use social media properly. And so that's why these past 2 years, releasing this album slowly, I've really been building up my skills. You know, being locked away with very little to do, I had a lot to do. I had a lot of research, and it really, really worked well for me. Um, like we've been consistently up until now. We've got 5 tracks out at the moment. We'll have a sixth track out on the 25th of March, and we will have 10 tracks out by the end of the album project,
Okay.
which will be September 3rd. Correct in saying that.
Okay.
Sometime around September 3rd.
And what will the album be called?
So the album's called Start of Something Blue. Uh, just like you can probably see it the way I'm dressed and the
Yeah,
eyes. I'm going for that blue aesthetic, you know.
there's a certain motif
It's a
there, let's say.
Yeah, right. It's funny though, because blue was never really the color I chose. It was kind of chosen for me. I have a very influential friend and producer in my life. Her name's Trisha O'Keefe. She's done amazing things. She's what is it? A platinum selling artist? No, the one beneath that, I forget. She's an amazing artist, anyways. And she turned to me one day and she said, "No, I was like, what? She's like, blue, it's your color. And I was like, no, I love pink. Pink's my favorite color. She's like, I don't care what your favorite color is. Blue is your color. And then she picture of me with the eye color kept in of
Okay.
blue. And she said, there, that's yours. Deal with it. And I'll love her.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
now, yeah,
so
blue is the thing.
yeah, so your
Yeah.
producer has kind of been an important part of the process then.
Fire is a fantastic producer. Goes by the name Lanternhead, because he's a big old ginger.
Okay.
I'm proud of it as well. Proud of it as well. But we met on January 3rd. It was played a concert in a tiny little cafe that was very close to our hearts. I asked an artist, Jacob Koopman, to open up for me, and he brought a piano. And that piano player heard me play piano, my song "Better Off Without You," which is the first one we did together. And he comes up to me after and he goes, Nathan, I really like that song Better Off Without You. I'd love to record it. We could do something kind of like John Bellion. And immediately, I was immediately just like, yes, take everything, do this song. Oh my God, John Bellion, let's do it. Um, so from that point, we sort of had a very strong reference going in. Um, yeah, we started working on Better Off Without You. Then we did Carolina. Then we did The Boy Learned to Fly. Um, process. And like we started in a small box room in his house. And we have since been kicked out of the house and into his beautiful little studio that he's built in the back garden. So we're moving up in the world,
Okay,
you
good
know.
stuff. Okay, yeah. So like you've been very busy, I suppose, because I seen on your website, you've been studying as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's currently where I am right now. If you want to take a look, I am currently in one of the Mac rooms in BIM, all
Okay.
by myself after hours. I use this place like a an office most of the time. Like I'm always here. Yeah, studying has been really great because like the course is only 12 hours a week,
Okay.
and I know a lot of the stuff already. Like I was saying, over the pandemic, I got to study lots, set up a release a lot of music, work on my own artist profile, and that's kind of they're the lessons that I'm learning at the moment. Because I'm doing music business in college,
All right. Okay.
which I'm very doing.
All right. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And you've been kind of, I suppose, documenting the process as well. I see you have kind of a journal on your website. Is that right?
yeah. I kind of started that to sort of document the process of being an artist more so than the college thing, but it's been coming really handy for the college thing because
Okay.
for some of my assignments, I need to actually reflect on the process and then look back on it and compare the two. And so all the lecturers are like, Nathan, it's really nice that you keep a journal because, you know, you're going to need it eventually. And I was like, excellent. I had no idea. I'm just doing it for me. Um, yeah, I do that blog so that I can sort of remind myself why I'm doing this. Like it's really easy to just wake up one morning with no money, living in the weirdest house ever, and you just feel like, what's the point? Like, where am I
Yeah.
going? Is this working? Um, it's really easy to fall into those sort of troughs, and then you have to pull yourself back out, and that usually requires exercise, practice, thinking. Like actually, if you just sit there and think about what you're going to do next, it really does make you feel better.
Okay.
Um, which is kind of what I do in BIM now. I've become a de facto teacher in my spare time, because I'm a lot older than most of the students. So I spend a lot of
Okay.
time sitting down with them, going, "Okay, so tell me about your career. Tell me about your life. Let me help you with this," and then working on an artist's career plan with them. You know.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Woof.
um, but anyways, so yeah, yeah, no, so it's kind of like a personal journey for you as well, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Do you mean the journal?
Well, that and the album.
Ah, well, the album. I don't know if I mean, it is personal. It definitely is. I mean, all the songs are about different moments I've had in my life, different thoughts that have resonated with me. Like The Boy Who Learned to Fly is about the time I with my dad for a while and then ended up reconnecting with him. And so
Okay.
The Boy Who Learned to Fly is about that. It's about it's about seeing one of your heroes or someone you look up to crying, realizing they're not perfect. Broken and Beautiful is personal to me because it's kind of about my injury. about actually being injured and not being able to be a circus performer, and finding my way to music. So they are personal, but I know it's weird. I didn't really view it as personal until kind of now.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, but definitely the artist journal is quite. I would say not personal. I try to separate my personal and my professional as best I can.
Right.
So when I write in my journal, I'll try not to say things like, "Oh, I was having a bad day today," because oh, I'll try to keep everything relevant to
Yeah,
music or
yeah.
what it's like to be a musician, or yeah, that's usually the way I'll go with my blog, because I think who I write it for, and I think this is true for most creatives. I think most of us create stuff for who we used to be.
Okay.
So I create songs for a younger Nathan who likes those songs.
I
I
see what you mean.
create this blog for a younger Nathan who might need this kind of direction, this kind of information.
Yeah.
For when I was younger and I didn't really know many people in the music industry, and I wasn't as outgoing, I would always assume like, oh, all these problems are just me. I'm the only one who has these problems and it sucks. And had I known that everybody has those same problems and some of them worse, it would have made me feel a lot better, which sounds kind of nasty, but it's good to not be alone in your suffering, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like that's an important lesson. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, no, that sounds great. But I suppose looking forward then, what
Hmm.
obviously Broken and Beautiful, it's releasing on the 25th of March, I believe.
25th of March it is. Although it's complicated because it's at midnight on the 24th. So, yes, it'll be available on the 25th, but you can stay up late on the 24th and
Okay.
listen to it as it comes out at midnight.
Okay. So beyond that, you're hoping to get the full album out in September, is that right?
Not hoping, I'm definitely getting the full album out
Okay,
on
okay.
September 3rd. Film are both coming out together.
Okay. And actually,
Yeah.
can you briefly explain the film actually? Because that's something we didn't really touch on.
Yeah, it's actually something I was doing today. I was sitting in on an editing session with the director and the cinematographer. So in November, we short circus musical film called Learning Curve, which gets its name from one of the tracks on the album. What I decided to do over the pandemic is finally write a musical because I love musicals. I absolutely adore them, and it's a dream of mine to be in them and make them. They're the most magical things in the world. And so I tried to combine my love for musicals, my love for circus, and my love for music into the one thing. Um, I took four of the songs from the album and I wrote a story to sort of connect them all
Okay.
together. We put a budget together. I got a director, got a producer, and we found a team. And then we've put together the budget, and I cried. And then I cut the budget in half, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. And yeah, we did it. My gosh, I can't believe we did it. So in November, we filmed everything. And now we're just getting into the editing. We're still finishing off the music for the film. For instance, this Sunday, the main actor who plays it next to me, she's going to come back into the studio and we're going to do a little bit of more recording just for the film.
All right, perfect.
So that's, yeah. Those stories, because I only really got to see clips of it today. I kind of have a trailer, but it doesn't really give you a full vibe of the film. But I got to see parts of the actual action today, and it's gonna be so good. Like I'm so surprised at how good this is. And
Okay.
every time I show people the trailer, they're like, "Oh wow, Nathan, I didn't know it was an actual movie." You know,
All right.
which
Well,
is a good
that's
compliment.
yeah.
It's an honest compliment.
All right. Well, perfect. Yeah, like that's definitely something to look forward to. I
Yeah.
suppose and I suppose just with the album as well. How many more tracks are you hoping to release between now and September?
Oh, one more. So I've got Broken and Beautiful now,
Yeah.
and the next track will be a song called Living a Love Song, which is a beautifully romantic, super soppy. It's probably the least electronic song we have,
Okay.
like with lush string sections and all this. But that's going to feature a very talented artist, who I will not be revealing yet, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine.
But
Okay.
that's I got to leave mystery. Got to leave some mystery for that. But that'll be out in May, probably the end of May.
All right, perfect. And kind of looking beyond that, then, do you have any plans beyond September, or are you going to kind of cross that bridge
Yeah.
when you get there?
No, I've definitely. I mean, that's the game, isn't it? You need to
Yeah.
have the thing that you're doing, the thing you're promoting. ready to do after the thing you've done. It's live music, honestly. Being in BIM is great. I get to put together a band. We get opportunities to gig. So I have been piecing the scenes, and we will be coming at the whole. We were gonna just gonna be attacking the world with songs after September.
All right,
We're
brilliant.
gonna do our big release show, which will be on September 3rd, and then yeah, taking the show around the film. Gonna play all the songs, and hopefully gonna turn this into a full-time career.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, like, you know, you're very talented, so I hope that you can do that in the near future.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, we're just about out of time, but just before you go, can you kind of give us an idea as to where to find you online?
Oh gosh, you can find me everywhere. And if you haven't already found me, that's probably my fault. I should probably do better marketing, you know? But where I send most people is Instagram, honestly, because it's where I do most of my living. It's the main thing I
Okay.
know how to use. I'm going to get into TikTok with this new release. Yeah, my website, honestly, because I know some people don't use social media. And my website, Nathan Mac Music, every Wednesday I put up that blog. And I'm always amazed to see people reading it that aren't on social media, and then they reach out by email and they're like, Nathan, I read your blog, yeah, which is lovely, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, my website, Instagram, every streaming platform you can find me on as well.
All right, perfect. So this is
Mhm.
Nathan Mack. Thanks again, Nathan, for joining us today. It really means a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.